Is anyone concerned with what our world would be like in years to come? With the effects global warming is causing to the environment, it is very hard to say our planet Earth will be the way it is today. Hi, my name is Nicole Acosta, and according to the Climate Vulnerability Monitor by the DARA organization, the deaths related to climate change were 5 million in 2010. But one day as I was browsing through films to watch, I came across a documentary called Before the Flood. It is directed by Fisher Stevens and co-produced by Leonardo DiCaprio. This film showed the extent climate change is having all around the world, and it really intrigued me and opened my eyes to the fact that people keep denying climate change, and within a few years, we can be history. I'm sure we all have a younger sibling, child, niece, or nephew that we all care about, and at the state our planet is in, their generation could be the last. Climate change is a serious issue going on right now, and it is very simple to engage in a green lifestyle. Today I'd like to talk to you about first, why global warming is an issue, second, the effects of global warming, and lastly, some simple tasks we can do in our daily lives to help save the planet. I'll begin by telling you why climate change is one of the most important conflicts going on in our world today. Climate change is real and it is happening right now. The problem is that many climate scientists constantly provide evidence that it is happening and people still deny it to this day. The need is that greenhouse gases that are being released into the atmosphere is the sole issue of climate change. Certain greenhouse gases in the atmosphere block heat, which cause global warming. Some gases that contribute to the greenhouse effect are carbon dioxide and methane. According to NASA's article titled Global Climate Change, published in November 2016, carbon dioxide is released through natural processes such as deforestation and burning fossil fuels. The production of methane is caused by the decomposition of waste in landfills, agriculture, and domestic livestock. By not engaging in human activities that produce these gases, you already feel a sense of satisfaction. The greenhouse effect doesn't just appear on its own. There are many factors that create these gases. Human activity is the main reason for the increase in greenhouse gases, not only in the entire world, but here in New York City as well. According to an article titled Department of Environmental Conservation by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation's website, by 2050, sea level is expected to increase as much as 2.5 feet in the New York coastal area. New York is very vulnerable to the impacts of sea level rise, including coastal flooding and storm surge. The annual average temperature in NY has risen about 2.4 Fahrenheit since 1970. As you can see here, the sea ice, ever since 1979, it was really big and vast, but now as the years go on, because of global warming and the heat change, all the ice is melting, and all the way by 2015, it is that small. Next, we have sea level. This is a demonstration from NASA's website. It's showing the sea level rise in very coastal areas in the United States. These satellite observations has detected how sea level rise is getting increased over the years. Next, we have the carbon dioxide in the air. This is starting from 2002. As you can see, the more red it gets, the more carbon dioxide is in the air. So now all the way until 2014, it's going to get orange and more red, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. Lastly, we have the global temperature around the whole world. This is starting from 1884. The more yellow, orange, and red it gets, the hotter it is in that location. So as you can see, it's really low right now, the early 1900s, but as we start to move on in the years, you can see how more yellow it starts to get, and now more orange and red in many of the vastly populated areas of our Earth. So northern U.S. cities are likely to have more heat-related deaths because of insufficient adaptation to extreme heat. According to an article titled Climate Impacts in the Northeast from the Environmental Protection Agency's website, from 1971 to 2000, The number of days in New York with a maximum temperature of 90 degrees is 70 days and over. This proves that the intensity on heat waves will only continue as the years go on. Human health is also at risk as well since the heat attracts many insects that carry new diseases. So now that I've told you about why global warming is such a high-end issue, now I'm going to speak to you about some of the effects. There are many effects of climate change, but I'm going to tell you a few main ones and how we can eventually solve it. Some long-term effects are how temperatures will continue to rise and create droughts and heat waves. There will be changes in weather patterns and increased precipitation and stronger hurricanes. People in water-surrounded territories will lose their homes and lives due to the sea level rise. The polar ice caps are expected to disappear by 2050. Forest fires releasing greenhouse gases. Poisoned oceans will kill sea life, and continued domestic life mistreatment will also eventually basically leave humans to starve. By understanding the depth of how climate change is affecting our planet, you can easily reduce your participation in these problems. If nobody does research or becomes aware, there is no way we can make progress. Start by slowly changing your mindset. If you don't care about how this could affect others, at least think about how this could affect your life personally. Once you realize that, everything else will slowly fall into place. You'll be more cautious about things you weren't before, such as what you eat, how you travel, and how much electricity you use. Now that you know some of the effects of climate change, this leads me to my next point. Let's see what could happen if you decide to incorporate some green activities into your daily lives, and what could happen if you continue to ignore climate change. It is very simple to engage in activities in your daily lives that help climate change. And by doing this, you will create a lasting effect on the earth. Some simple tasks you can do are something as simple as walking or riding a bike instead of taking a car or the bus. Also, if possible, try to buy your fruits and vegetables from organic, non-GMO local suppliers, as imported goods, when transported on boats and planes, will cause more pollution. Another thing you can do is try to reduce your meat intake. I understand many of us can't become a full-blown vegetarian, but try eating 1 to 2 less meals of even beef a week, and you'll feel better knowing you're not eating an animal that naturally produces methane and will pollute the air we breathe. Also, when you're home, turn off the appliances you're not using at the moment. By turning off television, faucets, lights, heaters, and unplugging your microwave and hairdryer when you're not using it, the decrease in electricity use will assist in the reduction of greenhouse gases being released into the atmosphere. Since human activity is the sole cause of climate change, it is only right that we should use our power to solve it. Imagine waking up one day and you don't have any food to eat or having to wear a mask every time you walk outside because the air is so polluted. If we continue to ignore climate change, the future of humans and all living things on this earth will be history. As you can easily see, ensuring our planet will be healthy and safe in the future is not as hard as you may would have thought. Today I told you about why climate change is a real issue, some main effects of climate change, and lastly, how we as individuals can do our part to help save the planet. What if someone you knew lost their lives because of rising sea levels in their city, or starved because their food resources are destroyed? It's easy to paint a picture of what your future could be like, but you have the choice of letting this continue in a downward spiral or changing your lifestyle for the better. Please make the choice to live a green lifestyle. You don't have to travel far to go out and protest or spend lots of money to do this. Remember to always spread awareness. When you've passed on, at least you'll have reassurance that you've done all you could to save your planet and loved ones.